Hi, I'm Gwen Young. I work on the Brighten the Day project, which is Gateshead's implementation of the Department of Education's holiday activities and food programme. So the way that we work with families is through community and commercial organisations. So we will use the funds that we get through the holiday activities and food programme to distribute to various organisations across Gateshead, which they will then use to ensure that children who are on benefits-related free school meals receive a number of days of activities and, of course, a hot meal each day across the holidays to make sure that we eliminate holiday hunger for those children. In the summer holidays, generally we have about 60 summer holiday clubs running. They can be a duration of a few days right up to 4 or 5 weeks. They can run in primary schools and secondary schools, or like I say, at sports clubs. They generally run for about 4 hours each day. So at the Family Hub, we do have some of those running this summer, and we have had them running in previous summers. The ones that run in primary schools, for instance, are really fantastic. We've had anecdotal evidence from the head teachers that it just means that the children who've attended those clubs are just a little bit less reticent about coming back after the long summer holidays. So when they come back in September, they're ready to learn and they're not nervous about returning to school after such a long break. We've just, in the last week, we got all of the providers together. Like I say, all of the providers are independent of ourselves. We got them all together and we did a workshop because it's really great if they can network and learn from each other. I do have an example of where one of our play schemes just recently, so our Easter play scheme at one of our refugee projects sent us an email recently to say that one of the families had arrived at the play scheme, and they had happened to mention that they didn't have a bed to sleep in because the parents obviously couldn't afford a bed. So they were able, because they had the connections, to talk to another charity who was then able to buy them 2 brand new beds. And that all happened within 24 hours. So this was all in the Easter holidays when obviously schools were out and the normal care facilities weren't really operating in the same sort of way. And it meant that those children went from sleeping on the floor one night to sleeping on a bed the next. And that is just because of, these holiday schemes are just crucially important. So in terms of the Family Hub here, we fund them to put on a wide range of holiday activities and food programmes. So for instance, we're here in the Elgin Centre. They'll do something for primary school children. They'll also provide play workers to go to other primary schools and put on holiday clubs there as well. They'll also organise the food and things like that. So they do that at Gibbside School, at Carhill School, which is just across the road from here. So basically we work with them to work out where the need is, because we have a map where we can identify where all of the free school meal children live, and then we make sure that we put provision in that area, and then it means that nobody has to travel to get to access these things. And of course, where we are at the minute, with it being such a great facility, you could maybe have 2 or 3 clubs happening for different age groups all at the same time, and it just means that it's somewhere central, people are familiar with it, and we can give them some funds and they can use their expertise to put on the right thing for the right children at the right time. We are part of a pilot which the D.A.V. is supporting. There are 4 organisations that are involved, so Birmingham Local Authority, the Lord Mayor's Fund for London and Northumberland County Council, and we are piloting a teenage holiday activities and food programme, and we're very excited. We're going to be doing that this summer. We've developed it through asking the teenagers what they would like to do, rather than myself and others trying to second guess, because we would absolutely get it wrong. So in the summer, the teenagers will get, and the pilot is for about 40 teenage children who are in year 9 going into year 10 and year 10 going into year 11, and they'll have 4 weeks where they'll get a all zones pass, so they can use the trams, the metro, the bus, etc. They'll also get vouchers. They'll have their own personal budget to be able to go and enjoy all that the Northeast has to offer. So once again, we're going to offer them cooking classes with a Master Chef finalist. They're going to be able to have beach days. They're going to do volunteer days. We've organised for some legal advice for them, but also they can go into a solicitor's office and find out if they'd like to be a solicitor. Northumberland University will give them a talk on how to do their personal statement, should they want that, how to do a CV, some volunteering activities at the National Trust, just some fun things like cinema, bowling, ice skating, horse riding. So the idea is because it's a totally different model, anybody who's got teenagers know that they're just not suited to the standard play scheme. Come along, do some games, have your lunch, do some more games, go home. We recognise that things need to be a bit later in the day. They need to be more exciting. They need to be the sort of things that teenagers want, and they need to be independent of all of us adults. They need to know, so that we have a hub at the Metro Centre, which is the local shopping mall. They'll come along on a Monday, they'll meet us, we'll say, what do you fancy doing today? We'll give them this week, we'll give them the vouchers, we'll give them the pass. And then as long as they get to the end of the period and they've done, I think it's 12 days worth of activities, there'll then be a reward day at the end when we'll take them to a theme park or something like that. So this is a trial because we recognise that we haven't been able to engage the 11 to 16-year-olds the way that we've engaged the younger children as well. So with a view to doing it this summer, so in Christmas we'll ramp it up, in Easter we'll cramp it up, and then by the end of next summer, hopefully we'll have all of the teenagers in Gateshead involved in it. So what we've found is we thought when we embarked on this pilot, we thought, oh gosh, it's going to be really expensive. The teenagers want to do more expensive things. You know, getting a load of primary school children to kick a football around is very reasonable compared to paying for them to go ice skating, for instance. What we've found is because we've taken out two of the more expensive parts of a holiday programme, and that is taken out the room hire and we've taken out the staff to supervise them, we've managed to get it at a much more reasonable price, and in fact in some cases it's cheaper per head because the teenagers will have their independence and they won't need that supervision.